Because, lest we forget, we all thought Reno was quite the arrogant piece of jerk when he showed up. Hello, my wonderful viewers, and welcome to another episode of Betty Adams Overanalyzes. Today, we're just going to take a little look at what a master of reframing characterization and motivation Matsumoto is. We've already gone through this with Mina. She waltzed onto the scene back in Chapter 1, glared down at a guy who just got his butt kicked by a monster, and then waltzed off. And we all asked what was wrong with Mina. I think the reaction was less so when Reno showed up because he had a much more plausible set of negative characteristics. He was young and arrogant and cocky and we thought he was looking down on Kafka because Kafka had given up. And we thought that, well, this child just doesn't know what it's like to get smacked around by reality yet, and he'll learn in time. But we still had that same concept going on when Reno Ichikawa waltzed onto the scene. What is his problem? And man, with Chapter 101, Matsumoto has completely reframed that chapter. Reno Ichikawa was a child who had almost everything taken from him in the most violent way possible. He was a citizen in a well-to-do first world country who expected someone to come rescue him, and nobody did. He was promised a hero in the shape of a Defense Force officer, and they never came. His mother, his father, his brother, it's all stripped away from him. He loses his school. He goes to live with his grandma and gets to watch her cry herself to sleep every night. And with all of this, there is so many different ways that could have gone wrong for Reno. Bitterness, resentment, anger. But instead, this child channels all of that into determination. If there are no heroes in the world, well, he's going to become a hero. He is going to go do everything that he can to get in the Defense Force. We still don't know exactly what his motivation was, but from the way we've seen him act, from stepping up to protect Kafka, Reno's motivation is almost certainly going to turn out to be he doesn't want anybody to experience what he experienced. If no hero was there to rescue him, he is at least going to try to be the hero who steps up and rescues somebody. And so when he walks into that monster cleaner office and he sees Kafka, who tried to apply to the Defense Force and just gave up, what Reno was looking at is someone who was old enough. Kafka could have been there to rescue his father, his mother, his brother, his school. But Kafka wasn't, because Kafka gave up. And Reno is not going to let that happen to him. And so the resentment we see Reno direct at Kafka is suddenly less arrogance and more tragic. And then Kafka steps up. And all of that love and family that was taken away from Reno, suddenly he has someone to focus that on again. And Reno's devotion to Kafka, Reno's dedication to becoming stronger, Reno's dedication to becoming someone who can step up. It's all been reframed as having this driving force behind it, to the point Reno really could have been the main character in his own series. That much thought went into his backstory. But I think Reno's character arc here, as we see it revealed, really speaks to Matsumoto's broader philosophical outlook on tragedy and just all of the horrible suffering in the world. What Matsumoto chooses to focus on is not resentment. It's not the suffering itself. It's like Mr. Rogers says, when you see a tragedy, find the helpers, the people who are helping. That's kind of appears to be Matsumoto's principle here. Matsumoto chooses to tell us a story about someone who, when faced with this inherent tragedy of life, when everything was taken from Reno, when he was left alone and was left resentful of the fact that no hero came to rescue him, his response response was to force himself to become the hero that could rescue the next generation. And that response of gritty, determined, realistic, militant hope is what makes Kaiju number 8 just head and shoulders better than Attack on Titan, and just one of the best manga I've read, the most enjoyable for me. I know there's people who enjoy the other vibes out there that you get from other manga, but this is my vibe. But what do you think, my wonderful viewers? Tell me what you think of the energy that Matsumoto is putting into this story in the comments below. Hit that like and subscribe button, and peace out, my wonderful viewers. Do you love awesome science fiction books? Of course you do. If you check out the links below the video, you can get yourself a copy of Comedy or Tragedy. Humans Are Weird. I have the data. Humans Are Weird. We took a vote, and Humans Are Weird, Let's Work It Out are the 3 comedy short story books available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kobo by Rakuten, Google Play. There's even some copies at Powell's Books, the famous used bookstore in Portland, Oregon. Dying Embers, dragons, aliens, and things that go boom in the night, and soon Flying Sparks, more dramatic traditional science fiction novels, are also available at Amazon. Flying Sparks is still on the pre-order page. If you want a copy, you can email me by contacting the website to pre-order yourself a copy. It's still being edited. So check out the links below the video to get yourself a copy of some wonderful science fiction.